What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Southern Draw, your new go-to sports podcast for episode 9. I am joined here with my co-hosts Nick and Rod. Eventful week of some other sports that aren't necessarily the top of the sports world. But how are we feeling, boys?
Doing good, doing good. Sorry about the delayed episode this week. That's all my fault. I was traveling, so we're getting it out a little later this week. But I'm doing good. Spent some time in Texas with Rod this weekend. Got up to bunch of fun stuff. Got to see the city and kind of see some areas that I may be interested in the near future. So it was a good weekend.
Yep. Got up to some shenanigans, went to all the good spots in Fort Worth. Great city. If you're looking for a place to hang out for the weekend, Fort Worth is definitely recommended. But yeah, so we're good. Lots of, late episode, but it gave us some extra stuff to talk about. A lot going on the last few days sports wise.
Yeah, if we did the normal Monday, there wouldn't have been nearly as much to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, my weekend was basically looking up TikTok algorithm stuff and taking notes for other college football related things and watching US and Jamaica tie. So not very eventful weekend on my side, but more so just random things. So let's go ahead and get into this, boys. College sports, as we witnessed yesterday, LSU has won the College World Series.
Yeah.
Really, I think the best word to describe this series was unique. You kind of had game one, obviously, was very close going into 11 innings. And, just like a classic college baseball game between two powerhouses. Beloso hit a go-ahead home run in the 11th, put them up. And then, obviously, game 2 and 3 were not nearly as close. They're both blowouts, which was crazy. I know we watched game 1 together and we're like, damn, the rest of the series is going to be so good and so close. And that was definitely not the case.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought with that first game, it was setting up to be like just a crazy, could go either way series. And, the how much theatrics there were in that game. Awesome. But game one was an awesome game to watch. But yeah, the next two games, just total domination on either side. I know we talked, Nick, after watching game two, we were like, how does Jay Johnson get LSU back to earth? Like, what do you do to recover from a loss that bad? And they literally flipped the script. So whatever Jay Johnson did, I need to know because like he could. Seems like LSU could have beaten anybody after they flipped and won that third game.
Yeah, it's crazy too, especially because after game 2, the major storyline was Paul Skeens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was wondering if he was going to pitch. I am uneducated and thought he was pitching game 2, much to the dismay of Mr. McHat. But everyone was talking about whether he was going to go in game 3, must win. He'd thrown 120 pitches or over 120 pitches like 3 days ago. And it turns out didn't even need him, 18-4 to win it all. The second inning is where things kind of really started getting out of hand. I think they went up 6-2, chased the starter, and their bullpen just could not keep up with LSU's bats. And I mean, I am a fake college baseball fan. I turned it off in like the third inning so I could finish watching Succession.
Yeah. Yeah, I turned it off too. I mean, I turned it off and then tuned back in just to see the last out because I love seeing them rush the field. But I mean, I don't know. I think the story of the series can really be how the two teams kind of got down into their pitching rotation and it was getting real thin for both teams. Because I mean, Skeens threw 100 something pitches last week, and I mean, obviously it's the national championship game, so I think we all expected him to go, but obviously they didn't need him. So I think LSU just did a little bit better job of managing their pitching situation coming into the last two games of the series.
They need to bump it to 3 out of 5.
You think so?
I think so. Just I know 2 out of 3 just it makes sense, but I would like to have seen a little bit more in that series with just how crazy it was. But to be fair, I'm not much of a college baseball guy either. I literally turned it on just to see the end where they rushed the field. I turned it off and was watching Florida Ohio State 2007.
It just
Yeah.
goes to show that football is always king. Yeah, the problem with 3 out of 5 is, we're touching on with the bullpens dwindling. There's just not enough quality arms to really last that long in a series.
Yeah.
Maybe that could work if they gave them more rest, but then you have a big problem with all the people who have traveled across the country to Omaha aren't going to want to just fart around there for, 3 more days waiting for the series to start while the teams are resting.
Yeah, you'd have everyone going to the hospital with Jello shots.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
God, do we
what
know
was
the
that
final
number?
tally that LSU had?
Like
I think it was
60
north of
something.
65K.
65 was the end.
It
I
was
think it
like
was
high
over it.
60s.
That's just insane.
They themselves was like, I think it was over like 300K of Jello shots just from LSU.
Really? Yeah, because I think they had the next closest was something like 9,000 maybe or something
I
like
think
that.
it was TCU with like 8 or 9.
Those people, they're just unreal. They just take over every town they go to too. That entire stadium for game 3 was all LSU fans.
We
Like
need a
it didn't seem like there were any Florida fans.
we need Wisconsin to get good at baseball, and an LSU Wisconsin Jello shot battle would be insane. Those two fan bases for drinking. Just whoever wins the Jello shots wins the College World Series.
Yeah. So I've got the numbers. So LSU, the final count, I believe, is 68,888 Jello shots. And last year, Ole Miss set the record at 18,777. So they beat them by 50,000 Jello shots. And the Jello shots run at $5 a pop. That is basically $138,000 in Jello shots.
So I guess the total would have been like or all of them combined were like 3 to 400K or something.
Yeah.
Because I think it goes to or part of it goes to charity.
Yeah, I think it does go to charity. Yeah, part of it. And like you guys were talking about, I saw like a tweet. It was really funny. It was talking about like all the places that they've seen LSU fans drink out of alcohol, and it's just like an entire Marriott in downtown Atlanta, like several bars in New Orleans. It's just crazy. They're just quite literally built different.
Who do y'all think, if there's a team out there, do you think there's any fan base out there for the College World Series that could break that record?
No.
I don't
It
think
would
so
it
either.
would straight drinking. The only team I would think would be Wisconsin, but LSU, they just have so many. Like they had the one guy who runs that chicken finger shop or whatever, bought like $6,000 worth of Jello shots.
The guy, the
There.
Canes guy.
Yeah.
Really?
That was before they had even broken Ole Miss's record. That was when they were at like 10 or 11. He like bumped it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
I
will
mean,
never be broken unless LSU.
No, it would have to be LSU realistically to do it
yeah,
again.
because Wisconsin, yeah, like they've definitely got the liver ability, but they're not passionate baseball fans like LSU are. Like LSU fans actually ride hard for baseball. I would also like to mention that Auburn beat LSU in the series and run ruled them. So just
We
throwing
are
that out there.
disputed national champs.
Co-champs.
Co-champs.
Champs with the two Tigers are the co-champs. So, but side note, that the yellow LSU jersey is so good looking. That's like one of the best looks in all of sports. I'd love to see. They
the
wore
font is awesome that they
Yeah.
have on that jersey.
Yeah, I told Nick this while we were watching, but I'd love to see LSU. One, I'd love to see them wear a yellow jersey in football again, and then do a throwback helmet with the LSU logo that they use on the baseball hats. Looks so good. LSU probably has like the best like logo rotation in all of sports. They have so many good ones.
Purple helmets with just like the hat, just basically copy
Yeah.
the hat for the
Looks
shell of the
so-
helmet. Would be
so
sick.
cool. Yeah. But yeah, good for LSU. It was cool to see them win it. I felt like most people were rooting for LSU. I definitely was. So
Same for sure.
Yeah.
Way more likable fan base than Florida.
yeah,
1,000%. Florida fans don't don't deserve anything. Evil people. Except for I know one cool Florida fan. That's about it.
You're really going at Florida the last couple of podcasts. You've been
I gotta stick to it. I can't
Sunbelt Billy.
fade away. Sunbelt Billy, yeah, he's the reason they lost the College World Series.
I guess the only cool Gator I know would be Tom Petty. Well, don't know, but
You
know
do
of.
or knew of.
I knew
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, but yeah, good for LSU. Better luck next time. I actually saw I think ESPN put it out, but it was a graphic of all the Florida teams that have lost either the semifinals or championship. And it was like the Heat, FAU, Miami, Florida, a couple other ones, the Rays. So Florida just can't break
I
through.
forgot about the Rays.
Yeah, they're just struggling lately.
That's crazy. That
Yeah,
means
Kepka's choke at the Masters.
the
Yeah,
Dolphins are gonna break it with the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Or an AFC championship loss. Either or. I'll take both.
Hey, you want some AFC championship losses? I got you.
Yeah. Could you give me a rundown in like 13 seconds
Yeah.
how to handle it?
Yeah. Cover tight ends.
Oh man. Okay. So
yeah.
other college news. I saw this today. I thought it was interesting. Um, it's related to NIL. The NCAA came out and said that teams will be penalized for NIL misconduct, even if what they're doing follows the state laws on NIL.
So like a national law basically that overrides your state law.
I don't know if it's even a national law because there is no national law. So I'm guessing if the NCAA deems it to be a violation according to the NCAA, they'll be penalized.
Well, who cares? Because if you violate a rule now, it'll take them a decade to rule it. So by the time you get in trouble, they won't exist anymore, probably.
I don't know. I just think this is a way to force national legislation on it.
Yeah, this is like NCAA being judge, jury, and executioner. It's all bullshit. Fuck that. They're
Yeah.
following state laws. They should be fine. I mean, like, it's such a wild west that they are responsible for it being like this. They let it happen, you know. Now you want to come back and just condemn them? Fuck that.
Well, they realize I guess they're trying. It's damage control. Is what it is, but they're gonna do more damage this way than they would if just allowing these things to happen. Like penalizing teams for not breaking the rules is ridiculous.
It's gonna be interesting to see who gets the first into that stick.
Missouri.
How teams get in trouble for it.
I don't know. The other thing that was along with that, it says that the players will not be penalized if they request to be let out of their NIL deals if their coach leaves or if they leave before a year of playing at that school, which is kind of interesting. I guess it means that they're not going to be sued. They can't be sued by the company giving them the NIL deal. It was kind of a weirdly worded statement by the NCAA.
That'll be interesting to see how that ever works out. There's always ways around things.
Yeah.
But
I did want to mention because Nick, you made me remember it. Forgot to mention regarding LSU football and basketball. 37 wins vacated. We're talking about NCAA violations.
Yes.
The situation with that is actually kind of wild. I don't know if y'all read into it, but they were embezzling money from a children's hospital. Gave it to a guy who was a 4-year starter on the offensive line for LSU from 2012 to 2015. He was a very good player, but yeah, they gave the guy's dad a bunch of money and then it hired his mom to work at the hospital, so he was ineligible. And they've now vacated all those wins in football, and then which has now caused Les Miles to fall under the 600 winning percentage, which makes him ineligible for the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, people who have really fallen down bad. Les Miles, the end of his career has just been dragged through the mud.
What was he doing the last couple years? Because like,
Kansas, remember?
well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he was breaking the rules at LSU and then went to break the rules at Kansas too, because he got fired from
Like,
Kansas for recruiting violations or something like that, or some kind of crazy.
and then
Something fucked up.
stuff started to come out about LSU too, slightly like right after that. So it was just domino after domino for him.
Yeah, kind
I mean,
of. I kind of feel bad for him, but also this is all self-inflicted. So
yeah, that's how I felt because I'm interested to see with that 600 threshold because I was thinking about Mike Leach never hit it,
yeah,
but I wonder if for him because I was thinking maybe they would lower it for him unless, but I think if for Mike Leach they would probably make it like an honorary inductee most likely for that. But yeah, for Les Miles should be there, but then I'm like, at the same time, you did literally all of this. This is all your fault.
Nah, keep Mike Leach out. Gotta
Money
have
from
600.
and you embezzled money from Children's Hospital and let that happen. That's
yeah,
crazy.
pretty bad. But yeah, the high and low of LSU athletics is there's a lot going on.
You'd take it though. You would certainly
Yeah, I
take it.
would take it. I would totally take it.
There's always something with LSU. And the thing is, they always end up winning something every 1 or 2 years. Well, now they're winning in almost everything.
Okay, now on to a school that hasn't won anything. Michigan came out today, actually, I think, that they have designated periods in practice that go by it's their beat Georgia period and their beat Ohio State period. Um, I don't this seems very try hard.
Yeah. It's very to me, it's like soft. I don't know. It seems just like weak. Like yeah, they can't even beat TCU. Focus on maybe that first.
Yeah.
Um, I get like Georgia and Ohio State have been in the playoffs and they've beaten you a lot the past couple of years. Like, but still, like, I don't know. Should you that just seems like mental midget bullshit.
I think
Well,
the Ohio State one makes sense just because they always have that countdown clock and everything.
yeah,
It's
that's
also
the
kind of
rival.
incorporated into that rivalry. They both have something always about the other team, but the Georgia one is definitely. I mean, I get the idea around it, but if you really like for practice periods, you should. A real successful team doesn't need outside motivation like that. I think, like Nick said, it's a little soft and overplayed, but it's also Harbaugh at the same time. So I'm not surprised.
I was gonna say that's like Harbaugh's thing is these weird like gimmick things that taking his shirt off and wearing the khakis and
I wonder if for walkthroughs they all wear khaki shorts instead of like their team's shorts.
that's something he would do. I don't know.
Yeah, he is. He's fucking cheeseball. I don't remember the shit about like sleepovers with recruits and shit like that. Just a fucking weird guy. I guess now that I just put two and two together, that does make sense for Harbaugh to do something like this. I mean,
But
God,
what's worse, sleepovers or doing the Cupid shuffle like Nick Saban's been doing lately?
Cupid Shuffle objectively goes hard.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm fine with the keep it shuffle.
but the sleepovers is bad. Sleepovers is really bad.
It's
Let's just
really
get that
weird.
out there.
Like, what if you're like asleep and like Jim Harbaugh cracks open and he's like, "Are you doing good in there? You need anything?" And just shuts the door and goes.
Fucking
Harbaugh is known for this, like we said. Like, remember when everybody freaked out over like, his satellite camps? Like that was the biggest deal in the world.
yeah.
Where just go to the random like, and now something like that is like maybe everybody in 4 years will have a beat Georgia period. I hope not. That would be awful.
You just imagine you're at a sleepover with Harbaugh's there, wearing his khakis.
He's shirtless.
You're about to fall asleep, and you just hear the clanking of his belt undoing on his khaki pants.
Do you think he sleeps in his khakis?
Depends. What brand of khakis do you think he has?
Dude definitely buys Gap or some shit like that. That's 100%.
He's got like a pair of Dickies or something.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, enough ragging on Harbaugh. That's pretty bad though. Like Michigan fans, what are you doing? Okay, NFL news. A couple of things going on. Matt, the Dolphins have offered Dalvin Cook a contract. One he apparently has multiple offers, but I think the Dolphins are the favorite. What are your thoughts?
We'll end up getting him. It's just gonna take time to figure out the exact money thing, but I'd imagine somewhere like mid or late July is when it'll end up happening. Because I think it's just us and the Jets are going to be the only team that really guns for him. Obviously, he wants to come back home to Miami. You don't want to sit there and wait and possibly be running back 2 when Breece Hall gets back. And obviously, like I said, he's back home, but you also don't want the Jets to get him, and you can get him. So I see no problem of why he would not end up being a Dolphin.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Miami. Played at Florida State. It makes sense. Jets would be crazy though. That team would be wild.
I don't want him to go to the Dolphins only because I want A-Chain to get more carries.
Yeah, that would put our boy A-Chain out a little bit. That would suck.
A-Chain's going to be catching screens, or bubble screens or stuff like that. Or a
It's the
little
only
weird.
route that Tua can remember how to throw.
It don't matter when you got track stars everywhere in the receiving core and running back core.
Yeah. That offense for the Dolphins would be crazy. Now they just gotta trade for a quarterback.
If he went to the Jets, it's just like the ultimate, like, we're going to put a ton of talented big names on one roster and they're going to fucking suck.
I think it would work, but
W.
I'm
No.
not a Jets hater.
Yeah, you're a fucking Rodgers gawker.
He is a Rodgers gawker.
Rod goes to sleep
can't-
thinking about Aaron Rodgers in his Gotham blackout Jets uniform.
Listens to the Joe Rogan podcast with Aaron Rodgers on it on like 25% volume and goes to sleep to that every night.
Hey, I watched his speech at the psychedelics conference. Which was
What? Why?
It was
No,
funny.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, he no, I didn't actually watch it, but he was one of the keynote speakers at a psychedelics conference last week. That was
What was the shit you were telling me? It was like all the people who are speaking negatively about the psychedelic drugs I use are the people who need to use them the most.
that's what Aaron Rodgers said. That's the one clip I saw. He was basically like, anyone that makes fun of me is the one who actually needs to do psychedelics.
The Jets are going to come out week 1 and half the team's going to be tripping because Rodgers spiked the Gatorade cooler.
Like an episode of Blue Mountain State.
Yeah.
Hey, Breece, take this. You'll feel a lot better, I promise.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is certainly having one of the more interesting off seasons. But yeah, I don't know. They need to keep him away from those those conferences.
Can you like imagine Aaron Rodgers like sitting at his computer putting together like a PowerPoint to present on?
At the
He gets like a little clip art like fungus and drags it over
With the white background still on it. Pops on it.
little mushroom.
one of those like really like late 90s transitions or whatever where the whole screen like flashes and the next slide comes up.
And it takes like 8 seconds for the transition to
Yeah.
get through.
He would use like the checkerboard one where it all breaks into little squares and then
Yeah,
slide.
You're like, that's nice.
trippy.
Let's go back. Let's watch that one more time.
Okay. All right, another guy. We'll talk about Aaron Rodgers again in a minute, but another guy, free agent, DeAndre Hopkins. So we know he visited the Titans and the Patriots, and I saw a report that said they were hopeful a deal would get done with New England, but now, and he also has an offer from Tennessee, but now Carolina and Cleveland have kind of emerged. They're kind of lurking in case a deal doesn't materialize with Tennessee or New England. So
I'm
I
just
think-
convinced he's not playing football ever again. This motherfucker, if he really wanted to play, he would have signed somewhere already. This is just dragging out.
And why would you want Tennessee and New England to be your 2 destinations?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Carolina makes, well, I guess Carolina and Cleveland they both make way more sense. But Tennessee, you're just going into purgatory. And then, well, New England, you are too.
Yeah, Carolina, I don't know. I guess he probably thinks Bryce Young's a guaranteed star, but again, he's young. And then Cleveland, they have the best quarterback, but that's a whole situation. I mean, I'm sure his relationship with Deshaun Watson's good because they played together in Houston for however many years, but I don't know, with the drama around him, I don't know if I'd want to be around that. I don't know. It's You're right, Nick. He is just like taking a sweet time though.
It's really annoying. It's like he's just not a serious person.
It's not a money thing. It's not. He's wanting to actually go to contend. Wasn't that what he was saying? It wasn't about the money.
Yeah.
None of these teams are going to contend.
Yeah, that's what makes zero sense. And two teams where you're gonna have trouble even getting the ball.
I don't know. Maybe
I'm over it. I'm
adjustment
over it.
We'll see. Um, okay, and then one last guy who was in the news today, Josh Jacobs potentially holding out week 1 and further. There's some people are saying he could hold out all year if they don't play him, which I don't think this would work. Look what happened to Le'Veon Bell. And Josh Jacobs is really good, but not nearly as good as Le'Veon Bell was.
Yeah, so a couple things there. Josh Jacobs definitely has a better head on his shoulders than Le'Veon Bell did. That is for sure. We saw what kind of happened to Le'Veon after he was done playing in the NFL. I just remember it was the most disrespectful thing in the world. Preseason week 1 last year, Josh Jacobs was carrying the ball like 25 times, like on his prove it
Oh, yeah.
contract year. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing with Josh Jacobs? Why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this to him? Just pay the guy. He was insane this year.
It seems like the Raiders don't like him. Like it seems like they just don't respect him or anything that he does. I mean, he led the NFL in rushing last year, right? I
He's a
think
stud. He's a stud. I wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't want to hold out either because the Le'Veon Bell situation. That was the first thought that came to my head. But I mean, Miami's warm. If you want to come play next year in 24, but they 100% need to sign him. Not, and I could see him actually holding out. But just the way the Raiders have been recently, I just feel like their main problem is higher up in the organization, and more problems like this are going to continue to happen. And it would probably be like Devontae Adams next. We're like, no, we're not going to pay you.
Yeah, if you want your players to stay, treat them well and pay them well. I mean, it's really not that foreign of a concept. If you have one of the best running backs in the NFL, you should make him one of the best paid running backs in the NFL. It's pretty much that simple if you want to keep your good players. If not, they'll go elsewhere and then they're going to perform because they're capable of performing at that level.
Yeah. These things are going to just keep compounding for the Raiders because, I mean, today, Derek Carr gave an interview today and was saying that he was pissed off how he was treated. The Raiders treated him badly and made his wife cry. So, like, if you're treating your players like shit and not paying them, who's going to want to play with you, or for you? No one.
Their moves the past few seasons, just none of it makes sense. They're like all irrational. They like dumped almost half their O line like 2 years ago, and then they just ran like towards the end of the year. They're just like, yeah, peace out, Carr. And then now this situation on their hands, and then you had the whole Gruden thing.
Yeah. They can't draft either. Their drafts suck. I think their worst move is Mark Davis's haircut. But so I mean, there's not a good decision that's been made with any aspect of the Raiders. They're in a lot, like, people don't talk about it, but they're in not a great position, like haven't been for a while. I mean, there's rumors that I think they think it's less serious than initially reported, but Jimmy G failed a physical. There was rumors that they may have to cut him and void his deal a couple weeks ago, which would be crazy. They just wouldn't have a quarterback.
They're on trajectory to possibly be the worst AFC team in like 2 or 3 years if they keep this going.
Yeah. Well, if the Broncos figure their shit out, they'll definitely be the worst team in that division.
Yeah, just poverty franchise, not a serious team. You move to Vegas, no one actually cares about you there. It's just a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. They're in trouble. They're a joke. But okay. We're Raiders. All right. Final NFL topic. So There have been a lot of rumors that literally no team wants to be on Hard Knocks this year, the preseason version. So apparently the Jets will be involuntarily made to be the subject of Hard Knocks. Do y'all? I don't think either of y'all watch Hard Knocks, right?
No, I watched Hard Knocks.
You did?
Last year's season was great. The preseason. I didn't watch the in-season Cardinals shit or whatever, but the Lions were last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was great. Everyone came out of it looking really good. Dan Campbell, obviously, a very popular guy among fans. In general, he came out of that looking great. Goff came out of it looking great. If you play it the right way, it's a very beneficial thing for your team.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna assault a cameraman.
Hey, he's been in a good mood lately. I mean, he looks happy when you see pictures of him in the media. So maybe he won't assault. Maybe he'll just like verbally accost.
I
Okay.
bet when he was out of practice, like a few weeks ago, when everyone was freaking out, he was probably just like super high. He wasn't actually hurt.
You think so?
So they had to be like, all right, he had to go to like a safe space in the locker room to like he was having a bad trip or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people that I am familiar with that enjoy hallucinogenics and things of that nature are not more violent. So, maybe he won't be assaulting reporters, but I think it would be a very, very interesting Hard Knocks, especially it's like a perfect kind of, storm to have Hard Knocks in New York. Aaron Rodgers' first year, obviously, he's a huge story. Zach Wilson is going to be hilarious, whatever storyline they do around him. CJ Uzama's likable. You've got coming back off injury, Brees Hall.
Yeah, Brees Hall, yeah.
So I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch. I think it'll be awesome to watch. I like Hard Knocks a lot, and you're right, Nick. If you play it right and just look good for like the cameras and stuff, you can come out and it helps your like reputation and your kind of morale coming into the season. Like then there's the other side with like Bill O'Brien when the Texans were on Hard Knocks and you just look like an asshole. So it could go either way. But I mean, I think from everything we've seen from the Jets this offseason, I think it would get. I don't see any reason that Hard Knocks would make them look bad.
Yeah, and Saleh is kind of like a not super media covered coach, really. Like I don't really I know he's like a big defensive guy, and there's that picture of him that came out where he's definitely on fucking trend. But I don't know what he's like, his personality is like. So seeing him on Hard Knocks would, it makes him more personable if he doesn't come off like an asshole.
He's a tryhard.
I hate the Jets just as much as the next guy, but
I wake up every day just to hate the New York Jets.
Here's what we're gonna do before we move on to our next segment. Say something nice about the Jets, Matt. You have to.
I would say they play in New York, but that's not something nice.
And they don't even play in New York.
Yeah. You have CJ Uzama. I like him.
Yeah, there you go. Auburn man. Auburn great.
Legend. Very utilized Auburn legend while he was there.
Yeah. He
shout out to the lone Jets fan I know, Mr. Holyfield.
Hey, he's a Zach Wilson truther, okay?
He is a Zach Wilson truther. I heard he has a jersey hanging in his house.
Yep. Prominently displayed for everyone to see that he still backs our best friend Zach, everybody's favorite quarterback. All right. Well, that'll be interesting to watch the Jets, but move on to NBA. We had the NBA draft. Predictably, Victor Wembanyama went number 1. Number 2 was Brandon Miller, very controversial, and then Scoot Henderson at 3, and then so on and so forth.
Did y'all see the video of Wembanyama? And I guess it was like right when he got to San Antonio, they just like filmed him shooting, and he missed like 5 shots in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't make a single shot and shoot around. And then they deleted the video this first the tweet.
I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I saw another video that very much so impressed me, and it was just him just standing next to the rim, and he barely had to lift his feet and was able to just put the ball right over the rim. And it's just like, this is unfair.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think you sent us earlier today, Nick, the picture of him on JJ Redick's podcast or
Oh,
someone.
yeah.
And he makes JJ Redick look like a normal sized person, like made him look super small. So
It's crazy. It's huge. And the picture of him with like Tim Duncan and the Admiral, like
Oh
he's just
yeah.
like he's huge. I don't know where the fuck he buys clothes from, because who the hell makes clothes that large? Well, I
that
guess we do live in America. There are people who have very
yeah.
large clothing.
There's like a triple or quad XL.
Yeah, but when you get into those sizes, it's so baggy. So like he's super skinny. Like he's tall and skinny. So how like Nick, you're onto something here. Where does he buy clothes?
He gets Tommy Bahama from the big and tall section.
What is it? TC Tuggers?
TC Tuggers, yeah.
These are
I don't know. I guess they just like get bed sheets and kind of hem them,
them
and
out.
I don't know.
Whoa. Just kidding.
Yeah, like
Not the intention of that comment.
Yeah, I don't know. Y'all, did y'all see there's an old video that surfaced and it was him saying that it was before the draft lottery and it was him saying that he knew that San Antonio was going to have the first pick. So, are we thinking draft lottery's rigged?
fixed. Oh,
Yeah, fixed.
NBA's rigged. Always has
probably. I
been.
just typed in where does Victor Wembanyama buy clothes, and I can't find any true results for it. So
That's the real controversy.
that's the problem.
Is Victor Wembanyama even real? Like,
I've never seen him with my own eyes in person.
Is Victor Wembanyama real? What do we get?
I don't know. I think the lottery, like all of the sports lotteries, like NHL too, I think it's all rigged. I think they pick where they want these guys to end up.
Yeah, like Chicago
Yeah, with Bedard.
tomorrow. It's in Nashville.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably talk about that. Yeah, Connor Bedard's going number one. This is like the same thing. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. Wembanyama. He's like the Wembanyama this year. But yeah,
They were like, he is not going to Anaheim. He is going to Chicago.
I think they really do pick it. I don't know. But
I
then
wouldn't be surprised.
our number two pick, I think this is a guy that we all love. This podcast is a big fan of Brandon Miller. No, I'm kidding. Did y'all see the videos of it was a bunch of different videos. Matt, I think you sent them
Yeah,
to
everyone was booing him. Even the mascot. Did you see the video of the mascot? He goes, like,
Yeah. Yeah, he was getting booed at bars in Charlotte. They booed him at the arena in Charlotte when Brandon Miller got picked. I think everyone is so pissed at
they
the
all
whole.
want to scoot. And then, I mean, I also get it, all the other stuff that came from around him in college. But to see a whole fan base thing, that's almost like a Jets draft situation from a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. I don't know if you're Brandon Miller after the last like 6 months, I don't know how you can like get your mind right and then go and play in the NBA. Like
Probably
he's going through
it.
Brandon Miller, who has the lowest recorded field goal percentage of any player in the NCAA tournament who is qualified to be categorized by that statistic. He has shown over and over again he's, not built for the big moment. I'm saying that because I fucking despise him. I'm sure he's had some clutch shots, but I don't really care about any of the factual things about Brandon Miller. He also said that his GOAT is Paul George.
Yeah.
Which is the most out-of-pocket statement I've ever heard in my entire life. Paul George is like a solid NBA player, I don't think, he's made some all-star teams and some all-pros, I think. I don't know if he'll be a Hall of Famer, maybe, because everyone gets in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But to consider him the GOAT is crazy.
And that same question too, he was asked, it was a Jordan versus LeBron question, obviously, for GOAT. But he also said that he met Michael Jordan and just thought he was another guy, that he's just a normal like person, doesn't think he was all that good at basketball. I can't tell if that comment was like he was being ironic because he knew Charlotte was going to pick him, but it is kind of funny that he said that about Jordan. And obviously Jordan sold his majority share of the Hornets, but he's still a minority owner. So you're shit talking the guy that pays your paychecks. Not a great first impression.
There was a tweet that said it was like if Miles Bridges comes back, Charlotte's gonna be dangerous in 2023.
Oh man,
I
Brandon
will
Miller, fuck you if you're listening.
fuck Brandon Miller. I will say one positive thing about Brandon Miller. It's probably a good thing that there was no chance of the Grizzlies drafting him because that 1-2 punch of shot making.
He would definitely
John
assist
Morant.
John Morant with some
Yeah,
shots.
assisting him and getting some shots up. Yeah, that would have been a deadly combination.
I'm gonna refrain from commenting further.
That's what earlier I was like, never mind. I was gonna make an assist joke, but I couldn't not make one.
Yeah, that was a layup right there.
But anyway, at number 3, Auburn legend Scoot Henderson.
That made me so sad that he was apparently an Auburn lock, right?
Yeah, he said if he had not gone the path he took, he would have gone to Auburn, which would have just been an absurd roster. But he went number 3, and then really the draft kind of like tapered off pretty quickly. 4 and 5 were the I can't even remember their names, but they're related, I would assume, based off of their name. And then 6 was the last notable pick to me was Anthony Black, the point guard from Arkansas, who I really liked his game a lot at Arkansas. The only thing he's really lacking is a 3-point jumper. I mean, honestly, a mid-range jumper too, but he's a big guard, really physical, good floor general, plays great defense, blocks a lot of shots for a point guard, a lot of rebounds for a point guard. And I think, the one thing that when they scout these guys, they know that they can develop the 3-point jumper on most of these guys. I mean, you can see some of the fucking centers nowadays can shoot like 35% from 3. So I was surprised he went at number 6, but then you take a step back and look at the whole draft class and you're really not too impressed. So
it was a weak class. The comment about the centers you just made, I think, is notable because there was a lot of very good college centers that went undrafted this year. Sonogo, who from UConn, who was Final Four MVP, and then Drew Timme, who's obviously had an outstanding. He's one of the best college basketball players ever. And he was All-American this year, undrafted. And then Oscar Tshiebwe was Naismith Player of the Year, undrafted. So that just shows you how there's kind of a difference between the college and pro game and how much the NBA has changed. Because guys like that would have been first round locks, 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's kind of like I compare it, I guess, if this makes sense, kind of the traditional center role that's still so dominant in college basketball it's not as important in the NBA, kind of like how running backs are very important in college football. I would say a good running back compared to how they're not as important and more serviceable in the NFL now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good comp. Yeah, it was definitely crazy to see those 3 guys go undrafted. Like you said, all dominant guys who had great careers, but it's just, going from real basketball to fake basketball, shit just like that happens. So,
it sucks. I'm sure one of them will find a spot somewhere and be successful.
Did any of them get picked up by anybody?
I'm sure they're all on summer league rosters, but still at the end of the day, you got to know that they're going to play overseas if they wish to. And, you still get to play basketball for a living. It's still a pretty lucky situation to be in. You just have to kind of contextualize it.
So Tshiebwe got signed by the Pacers and Drew Timme was signed by the Bucks.
Yeah, interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with those guys. I think the only other notable thing from the draft would be Grady Dick's outfit. If y'all saw that.
Looked like he went to Michael Jackson's closet and stole it.
Righteous Gemstones.
He looks exactly like BJ from Righteous Gemstones in that. Also another great show on HBO. You should watch. Yeah, he was at the Blue Jays game, which was really funny to see him there. It's just like something also that I was thinking about What if you're drafted by one of the Toronto teams, either in, in the NHL, it's less of a problem because half of those guys are fucking Canadian in the first place. What if you're drafted and you don't have a passport? You got like a work visa?
You get a passport.
Probably.
You can get
I
a
don't-
passport in like a month.
I
Well,
know, but
he
like,
went there like the day after. He's
yeah,
saying like if that like
If
that
you got
situation when you go
drafted,
visit.
like, yeah, you probably can't go. They probably make exceptions.
yeah, there's definitely some exceptions, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, what if you just had to like Zoom call into your like introductory press conference? That would suck.
It's like the shit where like Gronk like recorded himself doing like sprints or whatever during COVID or whatever. You had to like record yourself taking X amount of jump shots and doing X amount of sprints.
Yeah, the Gronk recorded them all on the same day too.
Yeah.
Close, which is that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, Nick. Okay. Only one other thing NBA wise, a lot of speculation regarding Damian Lillard lately. Things heating up. The Miami Heat are the most likely destination. I'm inclined to think he'll just be in Portland again. I don't think
Yeah.
he's going to go.
It seems like the most simple solution here is what's going to happen. My opinion on it is he should go to Miami. I don't think you should waste your career just to be the second best trailblazer ever.
Yeah.
You're never going to be better than Clyde. It just go to Miami, compete for championships, Don't waste your career just being this like martyr for a team in fucking Portland, Oregon.
It would do so much for his legacy to go to a bigger market team and win a championship. It would totally I mean, the perception of Dame is really good right now because has been so loyal to Portland, and everyone does know how good he is because he's performed well in the playoffs and the buzzer beaters and all that. But it just puts you on another level if you can get that one championship and play for. I mean, Miami, they played for the NBA championship 2 times in the last 3 years, right? Someone like Dame will put them over the top.
Yeah, I mean, he's proven his loyalty. He has nothing else to give to that city. He can go off and ring chase, and I don't think it degrades his legacy one bit.
Yeah, I agree. All right. What else do we have? I think that's all we got.
I
really.
got one thing to add. So the NHL came out with their schedules and everything for next season. The season starts October 10th, but on October 24th, just 2 weeks after the season starts, every single team will play on that day. So there will be 16 games that night, all starting every 15 minutes.
What?
So, or after the first game, Maple Leafs, Washington Capitals start the night off at 6 p.m. Then it goes game starts at 6:30, game starts at 6:45, 7, 7:15, 7:30, 7:45, all the way up to 11 o'clock. So there's going to be 16 games.
What day of the week is that?
October 24th.
Let's see.
I don't know, or Tuesday. It'll be on a Tuesday.
What the fuck? Why would they do that on a Friday?
I like that schedule, but yeah, put it on a weekend.
I would just sit at the bar and just watch hockey for hours.
Yeah. Damn, that's cool though. That's
Yeah, after the puck drops in Columbus at 6:30, after the first two games have started, a new game will start every 15 minutes.
That's awesome. Imagine if like the NBA or in the NFL did that. That would be take notes.
Be heaven.
Notes.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I know none of y'all really like the Premier League, but on the last day of the season, every single team's game, they all play and they all kick off at the exact same time.
Oh, that's cool.
I guess that's so they can.
So you can't fix results.
Or
you
something.
can't fix results for relegation or for champion.
Oh, that's crazy. Actually, I didn't think about the relegation thing at all.
Yeah.
Speaking of soccer, football, I know there was
Soccer football.
Was it the Gold Cup? The U.S. got the Gold Cup. Can y'all go over that? I'm not the most soccer savvy person.
Yes.
The first game was Saturday, U.S. Jamaica, and then there's games happening like all week, pretty much through into next week.
And then what were we? was it Copa America? Is that
So yes, let me break this down for y'all. So the Gold Cup is in group stages right now. The US drew with Jamaica 1-1 on what was that, Saturday, Matt?
Yeah, they should have lost. The Jamaica defender had a really dumb play in the box off a cross, and the U.S. just looked really flat. But I mean, a lot of those guys haven't played together, and you're throwing a lot of people together into kind of like a C minus B squad, I guess, in terms of the talent from the U.S. roster. Except I think they had their starting goalie. That dude was crazy.
Right.
Penalty
So,
stop.
yeah, so we play the B League, or not B League, the B team roster in the Gold Cup. The main squad just won the CONCACAF Nations League title like the week prior, beat Canada in the championship for that one. And that's a cup, an elite, or a tournament we care a lot more about than the Gold Cup. So the Gold Cup is mostly our B team. The only player that stayed in the starting lineup was Matt Turner, our goalkeeper who plays for Arsenal. And like you said, Matt definitely should have lost the Gold Cup game against Jamaica. Matt Turner saved the penalty, and we kind of got a fortunate bounce in the box that we were able to tap home to make it 1-1 and get out of that game.
And the Jamaica guy missing the rebound off his penalty, like
Yeah.
just straight open goal.
Yeah, no, and Jamaica had some serious talent in their Gold Cup roster. Mikel Antonio is a starting striker in the Premier League, and he's a menace. So there's a lot of talent discrepancy in that game between those two teams. But the main squad did win the CONCACAF Nations League title, like I mentioned, which was a more important tournament, which was good to see that. They shit on Mexico in the semifinal. That was a very entertaining game. I don't know if y'all saw the aftermath of that, but there were 4 red cards, like 11 yellow cards, jerseys getting ripped, Mexican fans throwing cups of piss on the field, as they tend to do, along with batteries and things of that nature. So big things for U.S. soccer. 2024 Copa America is in North America, and 2026 World Cup obviously is hosted in North America. And the 2025 Club World Cup is in America. So if you are a soccer fan in America, things are really looking up for you, especially if you live in or close to a major metropolitan area. You will be able to go to several games over the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity for soccer to get a lot bigger in America for the next couple of years. It's
and
gonna
Messi.
be yeah, and very messy. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how some of these cities handle these games. It's gonna be with people coming from other countries and just how these rivalries are with different countries. It'll be cool to watch.
Yeah,
A lot of cool moments.
definitely. And it's good that we have, we have these 2 major tournaments in the 2 years running up to the World Cup as kind of, trial runs, really get to test the limits of the infrastructure before, the real deal. Because you definitely don't want things going awry in the World Cup. But I'm excited. I know there will be some major games in Arlington at the
Very
Dome.
well.
So
I wonder if they're gonna do one here, because I think Nashville's probably an early game, like a group stage game. It's like the biggest soccer stadium in the country.
they've announced, I'm pretty sure they've announced the host stadiums. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nashville was in them. But well, I'll stop ranting on soccer. I could go on for a lot longer, but let's hop into
It's not.
some trivia.
Yes.
I am going to be asking the trivia this week. I'm tired of getting embarrassed by Rod specifically. So, Matt, Rod, you boys ready?
Ready.
All right. So, number 7 at LSU, obviously a prestigious number. They give it to some of their best players. Since 2008, 8 players have worn number 7. How many of them can you name?
Leonard Fournette, Patrick Peterson, Keyshawn
Byron
Boutte.
Matthew,
Fuck. Yeah, that's the one. So that's
Grant Delpit.
Got Delpit.
I forgot about him.
Okay. I don't think that he's probably not going to be counted as one, but Jamar Chase was selected 4-7, but then opted out.
Jamar Chase counts. So
That counts.
you've got Pat Pete, Tyrann Mathieu, Fournette, Del Pitt, and Chase.
Kayshon Boutte.
I already said Kayshon Boutte.
Did you?
Yes. So make it 9 players. This didn't have 2022, but you're right. Boutte did wear it.
DJ Chark.
Yep, Chark.
I don't remember 2014. Who was it in 2014?
Missing just 2 guys.
Who has more?
What?
Who's named more?
I think you have 4 and I had Pat Pete. Shit. Oh, I had Kayshon Boutte, Pat Pete, and Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, so it's 4-3.
Yeah, 4-3. And then you had Del Pitt, Chase,
Tyrann Mathieu,
Chark, and Tyrann Mathieu.
This is hard because I don't remember 2013, 2014.
I was about to say it has to be within that time frame. And
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Fournette wore it in 2015.
One of the guys was a
Fournette?
bust, and one of the guys is just had his rookie season in the NFL.
I don't.
Oh, fuck.
I don't. I know who you're talking about. He was
I do too.
the receiver. McMath.
Nope.
He was a receiver.
I don't know his name.
I think it was 2020 or 2021.
2016.
2016. What was the other year?
The other one is 2021. It's obvious.
Jamar Chase? I
Nope.
don't know.
You already got that.
Shoot.
He just played his rookie year. We were just talking about him, Rod. When I was here this weekend.
I don't remember.
2020.
We've seen him play live.
That's a lot of players.
Yeah, true. In his best season.
Best season? I don't even know.
You guys don't know either?
I can't think of it.
He was
Derek Stingley Jr.
Oh, that's the yes.
And Jonathan Giles.
I knew Stingley. I knew who it was, but I couldn't remember the name. The other Giles I wouldn't have gotten.
You know why we didn't think about Stingley is because his best year, you think of him as 24.
Yeah, that's true. Because
that was his best year, and then he wasn't very good after that. Well, he was still really good, but he wasn't as good as in 20 or 19.
Wasn't he one who took the year off for COVID?
No, that was Jamar Chase.
That was Jamar Chase. Yeah. So the win officially goes to Rod.
Let's go. We still need to go back and tally these up, but I think I'm in the lead. So I'll do trivia next week so y'all can get a chance to get a win.
Get a fair shake at it.
Yeah. All right, closing thoughts. What do y'all have?
Shout out to the King, Caleb Kim, on his debut on the Bachelorette. Is it Bachelorette? Bachelorette. Fun story about Caleb Kim. When Auburn played Georgia in 2018, I got lucky with my seats and was sitting next to all the parents and got drunk with Caleb Kim's dad. And by getting drunk with Caleb Kim's dad, I mean I brought bourbon in the stadium and kept on repeatedly offering it to him, which he happily obliged.
You're just feeding him shooters pretty much.
His wife looked over me and was like, "Are you getting my husband drunk?" And I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, Caleb Kim. Man, he lost a ton of weight, dude. He was our starting center for 2 years. Yeah, good for him. But I think the girl who's the Bachelorette also went to Auburn. So
yes, she did.
Favorite.
So maybe he'll get some pity roses.
Yeah,
for the Auburn.
Hey, girl, War Eagle.
You want to marry an Auburn man?
She's about to kick him off, and he starts reciting the creed. Oh my god!
Hey, girl.
They'll probably make him go to Tomb's Corner or some shit for a date. I bet on that show they do stuff like that. Like y'all should go. They'll take him to Toomer's Corner and have him eat on a little table outside the tree.
They had that one girl who was on it. had Bruce Pearl on her thing because her dad
Yeah,
Coach Pruitt, who coaches
Patty
her.
Pruitt.
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say, what's up with
Pilot
like
Pete.
all the Auburn involvement in dating shows?
Yeah, there's a lot. It's kind of
Bama had that one chick too, like a year before
yeah,
Maddie Pruitt was on, or that Hannah or something.
Anna Brown. I hate that I know these things.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Rod, you're pretty quick with the names.
Well, look,
Rod's next trivia is going to be naming the last six
last kid
bachelorettes.
bachelorette. Yeah, we're going full bachelorette mode over here. But yeah, good for Caleb Kim. We're rooting for you. We won't watch a single episode, but
Hope it all goes well.
yeah.
Get all better.
Matt, what's your final thoughts?
My final thought is RIP to Ryan Mallett, the single season touchdown and passing yards leader for Arkansas. Drowned today, so sad day for Arkansas fans and football fans alike.
Yeah, it is very sad. He was a really fun player to watch. I got to see him play live in 2010 when Auburn had a crazy game where both teams scored like 50 points each. He
Yeah,
balled out.
people
He's
forget
really-
he was quarterback in Arkansas to potential elite levels that time.
Yeah, very unfortunately forgotten star of the early 2010s, but man, he was so fun to watch. He was such a huge guy too. He was very fun to watch.
Yeah,
But
it is a very sad situation, and I've just come up with the, only go deep enough in the ocean to where you can comfortably pee and hang out. And you don't need to go any further than that.
yeah, a lot of ocean stuff going on, the Titanic thing, and then Peyton Hillis, we talked about it, Nick. The Cleveland Browns, great. He had a similar thing happen to him, but thankfully he's okay. But yeah,
He played at Arkansas too, didn't he?
yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
Oh
did.
Yeah.
I didn't even make that connection.
Me either.
That's sad. That's
Did you
crazy.
see sorry, throw that submarine thing where Mr. Beast posted the text photos of his friend inviting him to go on that actual submarine that went. And I was like, what if the whole thing was just like a coup to kill Mr. Beast?
No other podcast will you go from talking about the Bachelorette, peeing in the ocean, and Mr. Beast all within about 3 minutes.
I think someone doesn't like what he's doing and they wanted to get rid of him.
I have a hot
I
take.
gotta be careful now. Someone just realized I've cracked the code.
Yeah, I have a hot take about Mr. Beast, but I won't. I'll save it for another time.
Do we know where Mr.
I wanna
Beast
know
was in early January on a certain year?
I got 100 people here. We're storming a Capitol.
This is going off the rails.
All right. Rod,
But-
closing thought.
I want to hear the Mr. Beast theory from Rod.
I've told it to y'all before.
Please don't repeat it in
I'm
a
not-
place that is published.
I'm not going to. But yeah, my final thought is just avoid the ocean. Seriously, the ocean is scary. I saw a video of a guy. They were fishing, and he sticks his hand in and washes his hands off. I guess they got fish guts on him or something, and he sticks it back in again. And a shark comes, grabs his hand, and pulls him in the water.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that one
There
too.
was also the one like a few days ago where the dude was
His
reaching
pinky
in,
bit
grabbed
off?
a shark, and it bit his pinky off, and he was just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, dadgummit, my pinky!" And it was like so casual, and it's just like gone, just bleeding.
Did y'all see the one a couple weeks ago where there was this dude who was at a bar and it was like by like a lake and he went to pee by the lake?
Was it the alligator video?
Yeah, and
Dude,
it took his arm off at the elbow.
yeah, it's gone. You could see everything just,
Yeah.
and these people are walking by. They're like, "Holy shit, this guy just got bit by an alligator!" Like filming him.
That it just makes me like cringe. I don't like it.
Yeah. But they interviewed him in the hospital after and he said he woke up and was like, "Oh, my arm's gone." That was his only reaction. And he was just like, it is what it is. I don't have an arm anymore.
I mean, what can you do in that situation?
You can pull a Happy Gilmore and go fight the alligator.
Yeah. Get a wooden prosthetic.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, did y'all also see how bring up Happy Gilmore? there's a kid named Happy Gilmore who signed like a golf scholarship somewhere.
Yeah. I saw Adam Sandler like quoted the tweet and said
Yeah,
He's
like
got to be
happy for
named
you.
after that movie.
Yeah, he was named after the movie, and the Adam Sandler quote tweeted it of him swinging a golf club, and he said it was like the first time he picked up a golf club since filming Happy Gilmore. That was pretty cool. But
Committed
yeah,
to Ball State.
Ball State, powerhouse, golf powerhouse, Ball State. But this has gone totally like off the rails. We've talked about 75 different things in the last 5 minutes, so we need to stop.
This ending really took off. This was great.
Yes. It did. One last thing. Sorry to keep extending it. Shout out to the best house guests, Charlie and Sully. Two goats. Legends.
They are the homies. Best dogs ever. Yeah. So I think Matt, your dogs would probably eat my dogs, but they might be friends. Who knows?
I'm gonna say doubtful on the friendship, but it's hard to see really. And it's not really one of those things where you can easily, you know, kind of experiment. So maybe we'll just kind of
We'll pass
refrain
on
from that.
Yeah, never mind.
All right, take us the hell out of here, Matt.
All right. I really want to know the Mr. Beast theory. All right.
I'll tell you.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know this was just a complete insane shit show here at the end, but don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Obviously, we'll have a bunch more sports coming as football approaches. We're under 70 days now from the football season, but if you like written content, we got stuff up on there on southerndraw.substack.com. Also, a bunch of free content on our socials at Southern Draw Pod, ranging from TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to find us. We're on there. Thank you all for listening. Have a great week. Don't get on any submarines. Peace out.